Hello everyone. I hope you're all doing good. In today's lecture, we're going to talk about the strategic significance of Afghanistan for India. Before we begin, let's try to understand why this is an important topic for all competitive exams. First of all, it has been in news for a very long time now. And second of all, exams like UPSC have already asked various dimensions of the topic in both prelims and mains examination. So we'll try to keep it as simple and small as possible. First, let's try to understand the position or the location of Afghanistan. There's a map of Afghanistan with Central Asia, China, and India. So let's try to memorize this map. I have learnt it in this way. Maybe it will help you as well. So first we begin by writing U, K, K, T, and T. Okay. Now this is U is for Uzbekistan, this is for Kazakhstan, this is Kyrgyzstan, this is Tajikistan, and this will be Turkmenistan. Now we'll first start by drawing the map of Uzbekistan in a rough manner. So we draw it like this, and then Uzbekistan divides Turkmenistan and Tajikistan completely, and Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan halfway. So this will be our map for Uzbekistan. Now let's just join the rest of the maps. This will be Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, and the rest of it is going to be Kazakhstan. Obviously, this is a rough map. Now, we have Afghanistan here. It joins Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan. Below it, we have Pakistan. Here, we have India. This will be India here, roughly. A very small part of Afghanistan's borders meets with India on the northwest. This will be China. Here we have Azerbaijan. And this here will be Iran, the rest of it. This is Azerbaijan, India. Now, I think we have some clarity regarding the location of Afghanistan. Let's move ahead and try to understand the strategic significance to India. The first and the most important point being our internal security. So, how does it affect our internal security? Since Afghanistan shares its border with both Pakistan and China, there is a huge threat of terrorism, extremism, drugs, narcotics, etc. Like you can see in the diagram below, there is the Golden Crescent, which includes countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, and then there is India. And then there is a Golden Triangle, which includes Cambodia, Thailand. So India acts as a connecting point. For both the Golden Crescent and the Golden Triangle, which are the hubs for all the narcotic activities, drugs, illegal trades. trafficking, etc. And they also play a very important role in spreading radicalism, terrorism. Coming to the next point, it is connectivity. Like we already discussed about the strategic location of Afghanistan, which connects countries like Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, which form the Central Asia, and even the Middle East through Iran, and of course Pakistan and India. So now we have the India is building a Delaram Zaranj highway, if that's how it's pronounced. Please excuse me if my pronunciation is wrong. So, which connects India with Central Asia. So, it must be so. All right. Then we have the Chabahar port in Iran, which we connect through Afghanistan as well. So, I hope that's clear. Both of them are very important for India in matters of connectivity because on it, India, without the help of Pakistan, would not be able to connect so efficiently with both Central Asia and the Middle East, and further the Europe. Coming to next is the energy ambitions of India. So, we are building the Tapi pipeline, which moves from, you can have a look at the diagram, which moves from T for Turkmenistan, then Afghanistan, then Pakistan and India. It is a natural gas pipeline which flows from Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. And also, there are several other pipelines which flow from Iran, Afghanistan, and then Pakistan, and then India. So, again, it is a very important point. Then, coming to the economic trade. Now, Afghanistan has a lot of untapped natural resources. So, what is its use to India? Now, if there are resources in Afghanistan, that means there's going to be the high prospects of their being used by the country in its economic activity. And if India maintains good relations with Afghanistan, it can also benefit from all the economic trade. Coming next is investments. As we all know that India has already made huge investments before the Taliban crisis occurred, like they invested in the parliament building, in a few highways there, in other infrastructure projects. So it is important that we reap the benefits of our investment. Next, creating a strong regional foothold is very important for India because India is often regarded as the big brother of you can say South Asia and Southeast Asia. So it is very important that we have a strong hold over all these nations for various purposes of economic security, international relations, etc. Let's talk about the emerging threats to India, or you can say emerging challenges to India. The first point being, let's try to understand what the Doha Agreement was. So in 2020, the USA signed a peace deal with Taliban, so which meant that two things, that US will withdraw its troops and Taliban would set up a government. So this has in a way jeopardized India's present state. Let's see how. So India has been investing in one way or the other, maybe in the form of international relations, in the form of strategic investments in Afghanistan since 2002, for a very long time now. So, if India completely cuts off with Afghanistan, which is not possible in today's world of globalization, all its all its investments so far would go in vain, which we cannot afford. And it is only more practical to not let go of a country like Afghanistan and undermine its strategic importance to us. So that is one dilemma that India faces, because we are always we have always been the flag holders of democracy and peace. But now it is a whole new deal for India to try to build relations in a diplomatic way with Afghanistan to make sure our interests are secured. Next important challenge is the legitimization of the terrorist government model. So what happens, since the Taliban has taken, it's been 3 years now, and there's been many human rights violations, etc. And so many institutions, international institutions like the United Nations, are forced to recognize the Taliban as a state of Afghanistan, as in not upholding it, but just recognizing that yes, this exists. Afghanistan, even though taken by Taliban, is still Afghanistan, because otherwise it will lose control over all the human rights violations and everything, and it doesn't want that. So that has been an issue, because all the international institutions and most of the countries follow the democratic form of government, which is largely against the terrorist form. So that is one important problem that most nations are facing. The third problem is its border with Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so as we already discussed earlier, it has a lot of problems. One, it will fuel radicalism in Jammu and Kashmir, and the problem of drugs, obviously, as we saw the Golden Crescent and the Golden Triangle earlier. So it is definitely a very huge problem for internal security of India. Example, uh, in what happened in during the Pulwama attack is we received intel from Afghanistan against Pakistan. But now that will no longer be possible to. to get such inputs from them, because they also in a way support terrorism. Which brings us to our next problem, used by Pakistan to bleed India through 1,000 cuts. This has been Pakistan's policy for India since a very long time now. So, what Pakistan is trying to do is to counter influence of Iran and India. How? Through its common ground of terrorism. It is associating with Taliban, which is a great problem for us. I think that's all for today. We have covered most of the basic and generic points that we need to understand in order to be able to analyze the news articles and everything henceforth. I hope you found this informative. Here is a PYQ from the year 2022 on which of the above have borders with Afghanistan. And I think you should all be able to answer this question now. And then we also have a mains question from the year 2013, which I would recommend you guys practice. Thank you. That's all for today.